don't give up on your crappy app. A lot of people who've released an app will have had this problem. You've had a good app idea, you think it's the great thing, you're convinced your user's going to love it, you build it and you launch it and nobody uses it. It just goes nowhere. There are a lot of reasons why you might end up with an app failing. I've had them all. Maybe it wasn't a very good idea after all. Maybe there's a better version out there. Maybe Singer's already done it and got all the traffic. Maybe there's no viral loop on marketing, so the users might like it, but you're not pushing them towards the application yet. Maybe they haven't found it. Possibly you pushed users there, but they're the wrong users. Or maybe you just didn't implement it very well. So that's what I'm going to talk about. Maybe you haven't just implemented some of these good ideas very well. So the more serious title for this is the importance of post-launch tuning. Once you've released an app, maybe it's failing for a reason that isn't what you first thought it was. So what I do, I write developer monetization tools for social cash, headliners, the banner ads. So I see a lot of developers making good money out of their apps. I also develop applications. I've developed Soccer Stars earlier this year at about 20,000 monthly active users and about 3,000 daily. 6 degrees of separation that was shut down after 2 years in July because of storing all of Facebook's data, and they didn't like that very much. 4 in a row, which is a Connect, very, very similar to Connect 4 game, which has 155,000 monthly active users and about 10 to 15,000 daily active at the moment, and then various others that have either got to a few thousand users or about 10. So how do you go about salvaging your crappy app from failure and turn it into a non-crappy app? Well, 4 in a row was a case in point. When I first released this, I thought it'd be a good idea. I researched it. I thought, well, Connect 4, that's a branded property. I can't call it Connect 4. 4 in a row isn't. Hasbro didn't invent the game Connect 4. It's been around for a couple hundred years by the look of things. So it means I can build it. I know the game mechanics work. I don't have to invent anything there because people play Connect 4. I used to play it at school. I looked at the existing apps on Facebook. There are a few with 2,000 or 3,000 monthly active users. They weren't that good. I wouldn't have got stuck on them. I tried playing them and thought they were quite terrible. And also, as an application, it would be fairly easy to build. I kind of thought of it on a Friday and I'd start building it on a Saturday and I'd finished it by the end of Sunday. So the core app features I decided on was that you should be able to play Connect 4 against your friends. You should be able to play at different speeds, so you could either both be online and you could play it real time very, very quickly in 5 or 10 minutes, or you could play turn-based over a course of a week or whatever, like the chess apps, or you could play anybody on Facebook. One of the Facebook game rules is to let people play against strangers. So this is what I came up with as the homepage of the first version. So I've got a fairly simple logo, not much navigation. It does the kind of things that you'd expect there to be. There's a list of your games that are in progress. There's challenges that other people have sent you. There's challenges that you sent other people. A couple of places where you can start games against friends or strangers, and a leaderboard. And the game itself, very, very simple. When it's your turn, a counter appears above the board and you can drop it down, and that happens on the other person's screen at the same time. So I paid for some traffic on Facebook with social ads, put about $40 in the account, ended up sending 96 clicks there, cost me about $40. So I had 75 people out of those 96 actually installed the app, and only 24 games were played. So that meant it cost me about £1 a game, which obviously is not very sustainable as an app. And so only 1 in 3 users even bothered starting a game. So there's obviously something very wrong there. Now I thought the game mechanism was okay, but one of the other reasons it could fail, or is it a bad idea? Doesn't seem like it, but it could be. Not quite sure yet. Was there a better version out there? Put some more search terms into Facebook and Google. No, there's definitely nothing good. I'm sending some traffic there. It can't be the fact there's no users at all. Have I reached the right users? Well, I put in people who like board games and Connect 4 and chess and drafts and things in Facebook. So maybe the answer is that the unthinkable, that I didn't implement it particularly well the first time. So take a look at the home page. I thought the game mechanic was okay, but if nobody's starting a game, there's be something about that. So trying to think about how this might look to a new user. Well, there's this thing at the top that lets me start a game, but I have to decide which friend to start it against and how long do I want per move. I've got no idea. I've never played this game before. So that's asking me to make a decision when I've got no information. And do I want to invite a friend? I don't know whether it's any good. I'm not going to invite them to rubbish. All of this thing underneath, I don't know what a challenge is yet. I haven't got any games. This is all a bit pointless. And then this thing at the bottom to start open challenges. Again, if I start an open challenge, does that mean I think I'm the king of Connect 4 on the internet? There's a kind of social pressure on doing this. And I kind of thought about this book, which I read about 5 years ago, which is still relevant enough, even if it feels a bit old. Even if you just remember the title, Don't Make Me Think. I was asking my users to think and make it too many decisions. So to try and fix it, I need to get users playing games. I needed to take away any decision-making process, stop asking them questions, and also try and remove the social barriers around deciding to challenge a friend or deciding to challenge a stranger and kind of putting themselves out there as I'm challenging the world to Connect 4. So I took almost everything off, apart from a couple of big buttons that just said quick play. They did exactly the same thing as the posting an open challenge did, apart from it pre-selected that you just wanted an instant game, so you'd have a 1 minute per turn, and it would just basically drop you into game, and if someone else pressed play at the same time, you'd be playing them. That's it. The computer's made the decision, you haven't challenged anyone. Kind of takes some pressure off. So I think for a new user it's a lot clearer. We've got two options to play the game. If you want to challenge a friend, well, maybe I'll do that later when I know about it. Although there's might be some friends online, put a chat window in there, the Facebook chat invite thing gets a few users using it, and it's a bit lower key than sending someone an invite, and maybe they'll accept in 3 or 4 days' time, and will I be online then? I don't know. And it worked a lot better. So these are the stats from first day was 15th of September, where I sent my 96 paid clicks, got 75 users. The second day I paid about the same, bought some cheaper traffic, got 187 users that day, but they played 281 games. So I'm getting, 10 times as many games for the same amount to spend. I spent the same amount, spent about $15, $20 a day for about a week to keep the traffic going. The old users were staying. I was getting, after about 5 days, over 1,000 games a day. Turn that off after a week because it was self-sustaining, and then after a month I'm getting 4,000 new users a day, playing about 25,000 games a day. That's up to about 50-odd thousand games a day at the moment, although similar sort of number of new users, all from tweaking this kind of news feed, tweaking the user journey from the home page. So the lessons I learned from this, then the idea might be good. It isn't always good, but it might be good enough, and the implementation might be wrong. And there might be some very small points that you can change to get users using an app again. Measure as much as you can so you know the weak points. I was measuring people who clicked on the ads, people who converted to app users, and then how many games they played. So I was also measuring some feed stories. So I knew that when a user played a game, they tended to play it to the end, they tended to publish a feed story. So it seemed like the game itself was working, even only on 25 games worth of data. And the most important thing for all Facebook apps that I developed, version 1 is only ever halfway there. No matter what you think you launch at version 1, it's going to change completely probably within the first 2 days of having your app out.